Greetings, gnomes and nomads, and welcome back to Castlegoat. Castlegoat with the winter season tile set enabled. That is right, I have the Gnomoria seasons mod turned back on at the moment, though it has a stripped down functionality currently. Part of the mod, which is itself a collection of mods in a way, the component which allowed the game to change the seasons dynamically as the game was running is currently unavailable, as that particular part is a mod maintained by another mod author, and that hasn't yet been updated. But the base mod, that is the tile set, are still perfectly functional, and at the moment, you can either change them manually, though there is also a batch file which can quickly do it for you without you having to manually rename files, and that's what I'm using at the moment. And you'll notice there are smooth Grecian-style pillars. Oh, I'm very, very happy with this once again. I'm very happy indeed. Oh, there's lots of dirt here. As you can see, we have been making a bit of progress around the fort. We've been making some areas, prettifying them. This area will be the, well, I use the term welcome area very loosely for any enemies that are going through the trapped area. It's more like a mocking area, really. There will be demonic statues facing them, just letting them know what they're getting themselves in for, really, but there's not going to be much they're going to be able to do. And of course that is hidden behind these walls. I don't want the legitimate visitors to the fort having to see that. No, that wouldn't be good. Let me also get my pick from there so that some ingenious little goblin raider doesn't pick it up and start walloping us with it. Now, there are a few other things that we've done. I have finally moved up and completely set up our tailor station, so the loom and the tailor's workshop. We currently have about 553 mantlers. That is the combined food and drink in the fort. That isn't indicative of the total food that we've got, because we've got an enormous stock of wheat grain which can be turned into bread, but that isn't edible by itself, so it isn't counted as a lure for mants. I've also been thinking about our military. I'll go over the changes. Well, I haven't implemented any changes, though I am starting to work on some. You'll notice I'm making 3 new tower shields, and that should give you an idea of what some of these changes may be. I'm even working on getting significantly more pieces of steel armor. But we will go over that, and more importantly, the reason for that in just a moment. But first, the gladiatorial pit. This will be the gallery from which our gnomes will recline. That there'll be rows of seats over here, and there'll be seats with tables, maybe even a statue or two, and maybe even a small stock of tea and sandwiches. You know, because our gnomes, our gentle gnomes who have come here for a spot of light entertainment, must be able to dine. Fine dining, in fact. Sandwiches and tea. What finer dining there could be, I honestly do not know. But this will perhaps be a little bit grim when you think about it. But much work has been made on it all the same. Down here I have put all of the bone walls up. Unfortunately, they are not goblin bones. Goblins don't have bones. They have skulls, but they do not have bones, apparently. And there's still a lot of tiling still to do. Now, I've put in all of the torches that are going to go in, and I decided to bring you back for this, but we're going to start sticking around some skulls on poles. I think that's going to be fine. And of course, they are going to be 2-headed ogre skulls and goblin skulls. They are not going to be anything else. Now, I want the 2-headed ogre skulls on the edges here for a very specific reason. Oh, no, that one's in the wrong place. Let me cancel that. But I'll go over what that reason is in just a moment once I've finished looking where else I might want some 2-headed ogre skulls. Let's get this, some birch sticks once again. There we go. Do we want anyone? Yeah, we may as well. We'll have 2 on either side as well. There we go. The rest will be goblin skulls. Now, there've been some fantastic ideas put forward in the comments regarding the gladiatorial area, and some that I am certain to use. Now, chief among them is my offhand comment or joke about the whole running man or running gnome situation, where the nobles might be given the idea that the successful gladiators who have survived numerous battles would be allowed to leave in peace, for they had earned their freedom. You know what? We might be able to do something along those lines. Now, these areas here are conspicuously wide and open. And what I'm thinking is, if we should end up with an enemy who, having fought in the gladiator pit for so long, becomes legendary, that is, they become a named version of themselves, so a named two-headed ogre, a named goblin, I think at that point, whoever that is, that gladiator, regardless of the fact that they came here to attack us, I mean, they've clearly learnt their lesson by now, I think they will have earned their place in infamy, perhaps, but certainly they've earned their freedom. And at that time, I'm thinking we'll have a lever down here that will control mechanical walls that will lead to a corridor that will go straight off the map. Now, this corridor initially will just be lined with walls. There'll be nothing there. But every single champion that we release this way that actually makes it to the end of the map, because obviously they might be on the verge of starving by the point that they become legendary. And if they die halfway down the hole, well, they just weren't legendary enough. But if they make it off the map and escape, then we will add a statue in honor of that named creature, and gradually over time this walk of heroes will become lined with statues. I imagine it will take a very, very, very long time for that to happen, but then I could be wrong. It might happen really quickly, and I might have to extend the walk of heroes all around, maybe a long spiral, increasing the odds of them dying of starvation on the way. But I really like this idea of honoring the I imagine it's going to be two-headed ogres at this point that are going to survive that long. Only they will be that hardy, but I could be wrong. But yes, I mean, if these gladiators do manage to fight that well, I feel it is only fair that we acknowledge their prowess and skill in battle by releasing them. It may spell our doom. They may go back to the frayed land. They may teach their fantastic combat skills to the next goblin invasion wave, and then we would be literally sowing the seeds of our own doom. But I feel it is the honourable thing to do, and thus we are going to do it, whether it is the smart thing to do or not. However, to make things a little bit more interesting, I mean, we're going to have goblins and mants in there, but they don't attack that often, really, when you think about it. There's more chance that people would die of starvation in here than actually ever become legendary, because they just wouldn't get fights often enough. So, initially, I mentioned the idea of having a pit or something similar in here. Well, I've been thinking a little bit more about that as well, and specifically the idea of having not so much a literal pit, just a hole in the ground that really wouldn't serve much purpose for us. We could make it a water feature, but again, not really functional. I'm thinking of having a stairway going down, or maybe even just a ramp. Down, 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 very, very, very far down into the bowels of this land, into the very depths where evil things lurk. Things far more dangerous than a two-headed ogre. In those depths, those beetles, zombies, skeletons, golems, or even worse, spiders might dwell. And once disturbed, that is, once there are gnomes nearby, they can spawn. They have to spawn in darkness, so this stairway would be completely sealed off from the rest of my mines. I don't want them spilling out and killing our gnomes. But what we could do with that is have there be an open, or what would appear to be an open path, because they won't spawn if they can't reach you, or at least normally they won't. Beetles are a bit of an exception. But we'd have may need to adjust this trap system a little bit so that it always looks like it's open, that there's an open path, but pressure plates would invariably mean that it wasn't open and that you wouldn't be able to actually enter the fort through it. That way, as our miners are going about their business mining, things would be spawning in the depths. They would then be trying to path to our gnomes. They would be zooming up the stairs, at which point they would encounter all of the goblins and the mants that are currently entertaining our noble gnomes. That is noble with a G, of course. And bloody games would begin. I think this is a fantastic idea. A little bit cruel, perhaps. But then, if any of our goblins, or indeed our mants, manage to survive, countless battles, the enormous amount of battles that would be required of them in order to become named, then they get to leave. They will have earned their right. We will open the doors and they can leave the map. That is the type of gladiatorial pit we're building. Castlegoat is not a dishonourable kingdom. Our gnomes may occasionally be wicked, but they are not unreasonable. And they're not even wicked that often. The tea helps them stave off their wicked instincts. Gnomes are traditionally very, very wicked, but the tea dappifies them. Wow. Rainy gear. Oh, fantastic. I want to trade with you. In fact, have we got any other merchants? No, we don't. That is fine. I wish to have more logs. We require many, many more. Now, do we have any? Yes, we do. Fantastic. A bronze statue. I decided that bronze, for a very long time, was the symbol of our military might, since we were equipped with bronze. In fact, we still are equipped with bronze in many ways. So I wanted, for a gladiatorial pit, a bronze statue to go in the gallery. Let's see, where are we? I don't just pick these things based on colour. There's often a reason behind my choices. Bronze statue, fantastic. You can go there. There we are. Now I'm going to need to start getting some chairs and tables ready soon. But I'm going to wait for the whole gallery to be tiled first. Are we lacking? We are lacking marble. Well, damn. There's loads of marble down here, but I'm not gonna painstakingly carve it out of the floor. There's loads of marble down here. I just haven't been mining it that aggressively because we haven't needed it. Right, we'll grab all of this marble, then well, we'll go all the way up there. In fact, we'll do all of that as well. And then we'll grab this marble. These marbles will be going as well. And we'll take this back that far. There we go. That should be... Well, that won't be enough yet. This will be enough, though, once I take that out. There we go. That should be plenty of marble for us. The mines continue to go down. I've not been really pursuing going too much deeper at the moment. We've found a few veins of gems and copper about the place, and I'm slowly gathering this. But at the moment, things are pretty much progressing as normal in the fort, to be perfectly honest with you. Our Great Hall hasn't gained any significant worth, and I very much doubt we're going to be seeing any extra nomads this coming winter because our total kingdom worth is only 387,000 gnome bucks. I think it would need to be much more than that. One of the things I'm thinking of doing is starting to produce rose gold statues for trade, and when the time for trade comes along, I'll simply deconstruct all of the rose gold statues I have and then sell any of the poor ones and then rebuild all of the good ones, and slowly but surely we'll end up with a Great Hall that's only got very, very nice statues in it. And how many statues are there? We've got quite a few brick statues there, actually. Fantastic. Right, we want to place a couple of those in here. Let's get them set up. Where are you, brick statues? There we go. There, fantastic. We'll have that be a stairway, I imagine. And some more statues there. And people coming through will get a glimpse of... No, actually, I really don't like the idea of anyone being able to see the images of horror that this fort hides. No. Not that I actually think any of our gnomes have terribly dark thoughts. I think they're more like the pyros from TF2. You know, the whole... You might think they've got dreams of sustained and unimaginable cruelty because of the things they build, but really it's all just love and rainbows in their minds. It's just the reality is sometimes not quite the same as what they're thinking. Now, we are going to spend a long time tiling this area out. Ooh, hello, Mance. My lord. Oh, well. I doubt there are very many of you. Let's just check. There's one. There are only 4 Mance. The poisonous ancients will literally destroy you guys. They won't even have to stop. There we go. Oh, that was... I feel a little bit bad for the Mance. They've really not got the slightest chance of getting through it. And the irony being that I used to fear Mance much more than goblins, but honestly it's the goblins that I'm afraid of at this point. I don't think the Mance really have what it takes to be able to take our gnomes on anymore. Right, but whilst we're rebuilding things and I'm puzzling over the tiling, oh yes, I was going to mention, I will be having some self-powered traps in here and some statues. It's not going to simply be a large arena, just tiled floor. There will be traps, interesting surprises for the careless of foot. But they're going to be minimal, I think, largely because I'm not going to be letting my gnomes in there too often to reset them, so I'm not going to like rely on them at all. But we'll have some statues in and around this area. It should be an interesting looking arena. But I'm going to pause the recording here, and when you return, it will be to some progress, probably having been made on the floor work in there. But I am also going to start having a look around for a place to relocate our tinkering stations. But before then, I think I will probably also start work on tiling these areas ready for the bedrooms. So I shall see you in a few moments, hopefully. Well, welcome back to a bit of a surprise. We have 2 nomads. I genuinely wasn't expecting to get any nomads for quite some time, but it looks like Chaotrocles has smiled upon us, though for a moment I thought it was some sort of cruel joke. I thought he was trolling us because they spawned right next to a polar bear. But the bear seems to be more afraid of them than they are of it. Well, actually, I think their fear is equal. But let's take a look at these nomads. We have Gast and Cleborble. Okay, Cleborble. Right, I've already spoken with Chaotrocles, of course, and I have the 2 lucky gnomes that, or rather names that shall be replacing these gnomes' names. And that is Zimolf, which is, I chuckled when that one got rolled because that is the latest one that got added to the list. Well done, Zimolf. Welcome to the fort. Though Zimolf himself didn't request it, of course. It was suggested by another viewer, but I think that's a fantastic idea. So there we are, Zimolf. And finally, we have Sockmund. There you go. Welcome to the fort, both of you. Please manage to get inside before being eaten by polar bears. Please? No? Not interested at the moment. No, there we are. They are interested. Fantastic. Oh dear, where are you guys going? Are you going for the bear? Really? Who is this? Where are you? Elsendorf? You're dying of thirst? There's plenty of drinks here. What are you doing, Elsendorf? You crazy fool. Go drink. Don't chase bears. Bears are good. Bears are the heroes of the fort. Oh no, that bear is doomed. Why? He didn't want this. You. Well, on one hand, I'm actually kind of interested that you took it down so fast. Let's actually have a look at that combat log. But still, that was a hero bear. We are friends of the bears. Damn it. The bear claws at Lizzie, but Lizzie blocks the attack. Lizzie bashes with Burn Thirst at the bear, hitting the upper body, smashing the hide and smashing the ribs. Poor bear. Right, let's check out this poor tragic fight. It was a misunderstanding. I guess our soldiers were doing the right thing. They were responding to protect the 2 new gnomes. But well done, soldiers, but it was still a tragedy, I feel. The bear bites at Sir Prancy, but Sir Prancy bashes with the grubby ruler at the bear, hitting the right arm, smashing the hide, smashing the muscle, and smashing the bone. The bear claws Sir Prancy again, but it was blocked once again. Troll of Reason bashes with the leader of smoke at the bear, hitting the upper body, crushing the hide, and smashing the ribs. Poor bear, his ribs taking too much damage. Troll of Reason swings with his steel hand axe at the bear, hitting the right arm, slicing through the hide, slicing through the muscle, and slicing through the bone. The bear lost his right arm. His right arm is bleeding, and an artery has been struck. Lizzie bashes with Earnthirst at the bear, hitting the upper body, splintering the ribs, puncturing the right lung, stopping at the right lung, and crushing the right lung. The bear is having trouble breathing. I'm sure he is. He tried defiantly to claw at Sir Prancy one last time, but then Sir Prancy responded with a bash from the grubby ruler, hitting the upper body and crushing the heart. Sleep well, polar bear. We knew you for but a short time, and in that time we managed to brutally murder you. Oh well. Someone coming out to collect this bear's corpse. We will turn you into delicious sandwiches at the least. It is the very least that we can do, honestly. Given that we just murdered you for no reason. Who's going off to collect it? It is Elitus. Well done, Elitus. Right then, now we have 2 new gnomes to assign a job to. Let's have a quick look at the jobs that we've got so far. We've got 1 weaponsmith, 1 armourer. I'm really not interested in having more than that. They can be really focused in their jobs and just become awesome at them. We've got 2 butchers. We could have another butcher, I suppose. We have, I believe, 2 chefs and 2 boozesmiths as well. Let me find you guys. Tailor, potter, bone carver. We've got 2 of those. There we are. 3 chefs, 3 brewers. I don't think we need more than that, honestly. I think perhaps a butcher. Maybe a hauler as well. I could have you both be labourers. In fact, I'm kind of tempted to. Let's have a quick look at your skills. See if you have any particular skills. Machining, smelting, weapon crafting. Oh, okay. Stone carving, masonry, leatherworking. Well, they're all in the 15s, but if I made you labourers for now, then you would help largely with just hauling things around. And for the time being, I fancy that might actually be quite useful for me. There are no other particular jobs that I really need filled, I feel. Let me just double check what the labourer does. Labourer, show me your secrets. Mechanic hospital, agriculture, hauling. So you do horticulture, that's not too bad. So you'll be helping with the groves a little bit. But mostly you'll be focusing on hauling and also caretaking. And also leather pulling, which is kind of useful. So yes, we'll welcome you two as labourers to the fort. But I imagine that Zimov and Sockmund will be joining the military at some point. I don't really want to have too many gnomes in the fort that don't have a specific task. And whilst I'm certainly going to enjoy the added help... Oh my lord, the lag! What's going on there? Craziness is what's going on there. My goodness, that was bad for a moment. Oh dear. There were 2 bears? Really? There were 2 bears? What kind of nonsense? We killed 2 bears! My god. But I suspect I may know what's going wrong. I'm going to go and show you, unfortunately. Right, I've had them mine down these areas. But there is a spot along one of these walls. Where are you? There is a... Look, here we are. Whilst I was setting up some more mining to be done, looking for some more marble and copper and other such things, I thought, right, well, I've designated that to be a bit of a hub, so I'll mine off in this way, and then that happened. That is showing me where the caverns are. It appears that we might be having some problems with beetles down there. That may be where the lag is coming from. On the plus side, this is as deep, more or less, as we've taken the mine shaft. Oh no, actually, it's about 3 levels above it. But on the plus side, that will actually help us with regards to the gladiatorial pit. On the downside, it may cause some lag. Beetles are known for breeding very, very quickly, without end. And as you can see, I've already set up some of the demonic statues to support, like pillars, the area above. Oh no, have I I calculated that wrong. Well, damn, I needed to drive that back 1 more. It's not too late for me to fix that, but I'll fix that off screen, I think, because that's going to be a lot of waiting around for me to just fix something silly. Damn it. I thought I'd calculated that perfectly. I'm fairly certain I've done it on every other side, yeah. This is just 1 too far forward, so I need to drive this whole area back 1. So that this area, the statues are properly propping up the beginning of the gallery there. Ah, that's frustrating, but oh well, it's not going to bring my mood down. No. We have 2 new nomads, and they are going to be helping with hauling things around the fort, which is actually something that we need a lot of help with. I've also designated this area to be mined out, ready for our tinkering area. we'll have a machine shop, an engineering workstation, and a tinker workbench in this zone. I will rebuild the Tinker's workbench, even though there isn't currently anything for us to research. That isn't to say that there will never be anything new for us to research. So by having the Tinker's workbench there, it's kind of future-proofing the fort, in that even if I don't notice that new things have been added, our gnomes will just get to researching straight away. Now I would like maybe another 3 orangewood crates to add to this stockpile down here. Let's get those built up. Where are you, orangewood crates? There we are. Fantastic. We'll get all of you in there. What on earth is that? Platinum sliver. So that would indicate... Why are they not being stored in the crates? I assumed, because they were there, that all of the crates were full, but apparently that is not the case. How interesting. But on that note, I think it is time for us to wrap this episode up. We have actually managed to do quite a lot, and it looks like we've got... damn it, why are you storing things on the floor and not in the crates? You fools. Look at all of these things that need to be stored. Let me set them to clean that floor. Annoying gnomes and their lack of being tidy. But we've actually... not made too much progress, though I've made an enormous amount of progress off screen. The gallery and the gladiatorial pit are coming along very, very nicely, and we have 2 new nomads who will be helping us with the fort. I imagine with those new nomads that we may end up looking to expand the military sooner rather than later. But before I actually wrap this up, I will discuss the changes that I plan to do with the military. It all revolves around the fact that in the last few goblin fights that we've seen, either Sir Prancy or Lizzie have lost some of their armor, and that comes largely because the goblin waves are pretty big at this point, and they're all focusing their attention on one gnome. Whichever one taunts last is the impression I get, and that one gnome then takes all of that punishment, and so inevitably their breastplate or some part of their armor breaks. Now there are obviously, you know, that's a massive risk to the gnome in question, but in addition to that, we're also hemorrhaging steel. So what I'm thinking of doing, and I got this idea from the Gnomoria forums, rather than Gnomoria subreddit, that is, now that my gnomes are really good with the shield, and they are all really good with the shield, it isn't just Lizzie and Sir Prancy. Let me see if I can find... No, I can't make you out because you're all carrying things. But Troll of Reason, Elven Dwarf, and Adgestow all have very high shield skills. Now, initially what I'm thinking of doing is equipping Troll of Reason and Elven Dwarf in the same way as Lizzie and Sir Prancy, equipping them with steel tower shields. They've got almost 100 in shields. Lizzie and Sir Prancy have about 150 each. So they're not that far behind, realistically speaking. And it would probably be better to make this change now, in fact there's one of them, than later when they're that much better with their weapon. But if we have a look at skills, you've got a shield of 97 and an axe of 84. So the shield is actually the higher of their combat skills. So if we equip them with the tower shields, and we have those 4 in full steel armor, full steel tower shields, then I'll take off the taunt perks. The shield bearers will simply engage first, and they will draw the aggro, but the aggro will be generally split amongst them. That way, hopefully, their armor will survive the onslaught, because we're going to have a lot more DPS in these fights than the goblins do, and we're going to be focusing it in a much better way. But the problem right now is that when the entire goblin wave is just focused on one combatant, that combatant armor does go down, and it's only a matter of time until they go down with their armor. I would hate to see Lizzie or Sir Prancy die because of that. So we will be taking away the taunt perk. I'm not yet sure whether I'm going to need to also have Adgestow give up his guns, because he's set to maintain distance. I hope that that means he will stay out of the fight and just at the back, so that he won't draw any aggro initially, because the actual shield bearers will get in there and will draw everything else into fighting with them simply by proximity. But that is it for this episode. I do hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you will be joining me for the next. But until then, and as always, do take care.